And when I started my coaching badges, they used to show clips of Swindon, how to play out from the back. And thankfully, it was a good strike. The keeper sort of drops to his knee one way and it's gone the other way.
Kevin Paul in goal.
Yeah. Kevin Paul. Yeah. And then it's the joy from that, you know, seeing the crowd.
He's just got down the chippy to get some fish and chips in, like. And so Lou, so that next day,
lost his head.
I just got the grief for it. And then on the Sunday I was in running because I'd had chips on the Friday.
So, welcome back to Life of a Kitman podcast. We've obviously got two absolute legends on the sofa this week because we're celebrating 30 years since the club got promoted to the Premier League. They've got 789 appearances between them for the club and achieved 2 promotions to the top flight, which we'll touch on both. But before we do any of that, as always, we're going to go into their combined 5-a-side team from the Premier League season.
Well, you can draw, mate.
Right. Well, I think I better write on my hand to start. Fraser's got to be in goal, isn't he?
It's got to be, hasn't he?
To be fair, though, mate, I did say to them beforehand, Hamo, because he was good with his feet. Do you know what I mean?
But mate, in fairness, he didn't.
To be fair, I'd fill the goal now.
Yes, you would fill the goal. So on many accounts, you can go in goal.
How many defenders are we having? What are we done? 2 or 1 or what are we saying?
One good one and then a couple of attacking defenders.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think you've got to go with. So where are you going to play? If we put Glenn in there, who are we going to play at the back? Would you put Colin or
I was going to say, would
Sean and yourself? Do you know what I mean?
I would put Colin as the key defender, centre half.
Yeah, let's go. Got to put the fridge in, haven't we? Really, to be fair.
Shout. What a player.
He was, to be
great
fair.
Captain, great person, great human being.
Yeah. 100%.
We've met him a few times in the job because he's at Northampton.
Yeah,
and still top man.
You'd have had him. You know, he'd run through brick walls.
I'm even going to put the captain next to him as well.
Yeah, definitely.
He deserves that.
Yeah,
love that.
He was a legend for the club.
No, he was massively.
Agreed.
Right. So what are we thinking then? Are we thinking midfield players or should we jump to number 9? Who would we have as
number 9
to play off him?
I mean, if we're talking five-a-side, well, you've got Mitch, you've got Chalky, you've got
Duncan Shearer.
Was Dunk still here? When did Dunk go? Because Dunk went because Dalglish bought him, didn't he, to stop us from getting promotion?
Yeah,
so that was the year. Was that the year prior?
No, I think he was here.
Was he here 92, 93? I think he might have been.
I think he went before that season
to try and stop us going up, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then the following year we went up.
How transfers used to be.
Yeah.
So they don't have him.
He bought Dunk to stop us from scoring, and then that last 7 or 8 games we scored 1 goal on it.
Yeah.
So that was the year before.
Right.
So I think you'd got Mitch, Dave Mitchell.
You got Fjortoft, of course.
Fjortoft came in.
He came in the Prem though, didn't he? So can we have
Prem
players? So we can't have Dunk.
Yes,
we can't have Dunk then.
No. So we're going to have to go with Jan Arga. Or Maskey.
Maskell. Oh,
5-a-side, mate. You've got to go with Maskey, haven't you?
I'm agreed in that. 100%.
Yeah. Let's go with Maskey.
Although we don't know.
Sean Close in his back pocket as well.
Love that. Interesting. That shirt there is Craig Maskell's shirt.
Yeah.
From the Premier League.
Premier League one, yeah.
Match one, yeah.
What a finisher though, wasn't he?
He was, to be fair.
I mean, one-on-one, as soon as he went through the keeper, or even the last defender, you just fancy him to score.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So with his lovely left foot, the one in the final as well, just bends it, doesn't he, nonchalantly into the top corner. And he did that day in, day out, didn't he?
He did, to be fair.
As well, right?
Yeah, great goal.
And it
great
hit the post and just gone clunk. Gone in the goal.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So what we thinking, mate? Attacking midfielders?
So what you've got look at the midfielders, haven't we? You've got Glenn. Then you've got Mickey the H.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Lingy.
Because Sir Alex asked me about Lingy when I went up on loan.
Summerby, maybe, bombing up and down. I think you've got to put Glenn in there, haven't you?
For 5-a-side, yeah.
It'd be a strange team, it'd be a strange shape,
right.
but you've got to...
Doesn't matter, does it?
We've got to get him in the team.
Yeah, I think so.
He wouldn't be happy if we didn't pick him.
No. Is this going...
Oh, this is going out.
Yeah, we've got to have you in, Glenn. We'll be in trouble if not.
Love that. And one more.
So an attacking player, someone who can score goals, mate. So do you go someone like Summerby, or do you go Lingy? Lingy didn't score a lot, but he was a great carrier of the ball.
Yeah, he was.
John Monker did score some key goals. Great player, went on to fantastic things as well.
Yeah, he did. I think we're struggling on this one. I think we've got
Just got to pick one and be done.
We got to pick one.
We're going to pick
because Mickey H. Mickey
H would be, but he wouldn't play with Glenn. They didn't get on, did they?
No, well, no,
you couldn't play him in the same team.
No, you couldn't. To be fair, it's a bit like you couldn't, could you?
I'm trying to think anyone else, any other attackers.
Would you have Buzzer then? What was he like in five-a-sides though?
No, he was keeping him out on the wing, let him cross the ball.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm going to push for a player.
So what do we reckon? We'll have one in there.
Monker or Ling? I think it's down to two.
Flip a coin up.
Lingy.
I'll settle on that. Again, Monks he won't be happy.
Yeah, sorry, Monks.
Class. Again, top guy.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think you can't. That's a difficult one.
It's a creative team, isn't it? Apart from Colin.
What are we saying gaffer-wise?
From
the ones that you guys had.
From the ones we played with. I mean, we were lucky, weren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, Lou signed us.
Yeah.
Fantastic recruiter.
Ozzy
came in and gave everyone a lift. Totally different style. Transferred the style of football.
Yeah.
Glenn took us to another level, tactically, technically.
Yeah.
Can you have Glenn though if you've got him in the
team? Yeah. He was player manager, wasn't he? So you could go.
Yeah.
Would you go Glenn as player manager then?
Yeah, if the boys are happy with that.
Yeah.
It's
just a shame he didn't. He with the way things turned out, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it'd been interesting if he'd stayed and taken us.
And we'll have an assistant, Gory, because they were.
Yeah, I've got to have Gory as definitely 100%.
Love that.
Nicest man in football.
Here's one for you. So, of all the kits that you guys played in at Swindon, which one would your team play in?
We have to browse back, don't we?
Yeah, we've got a few there, a few behind us.
The Spall, I always remember the Spall one in the very early days. Obviously, that was way back in the 80s, wasn't it? Early 80s.
It was, to be fair.
The Nationwide one's a nice one. Although I don't think I actually played in that one.
No,
the final. I think we go with the final
one. You got to be the
Fraser can pick his keeper shirt as well.
You can pick it. We haven't got it here. But
No, mine was the green one, wasn't it? The green one at Wembley.
Yeah.
For that year, so we got to go with that.
Yeah.
We got to go with that. The red and the green.
Well,
yes.
What a team.
Very good.
I think we're agreed. That's one of the best ones we've had so far. Let's be honest.
Well, there's a bit of quality in there. Like you said, you could have.
Zippy should be there as well, though, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, possibly after 6 months. He would have been in it. We can't put him in for the first 6 months, can we?
but then you think about if you played a diamond and you'd have you can't because there's only 5 because you'd have Luke Nialt as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the destroyer.
But there you go. What a team! Unbelievable. We're going to move on and just touch briefly on 2 or 3 years before we actually got the promotion, got to the Premier League. The club obviously were at an all-time high, were promoted to the top division. Yeah. Obviously there was the financial irregularities, the demotion of 2 divisions to the 3rd, and then obviously on appeal going back to the 2nd. But what was that like from you guys' point of view?
It was horrendous, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, we've won the right. I mean, I remember there was the Sunday news, one of the Sunday newspapers on it, and they were running stories regularly about what was going on that. But Gary Herbert was the chairman at the time, lovely man Gary, and he went to the FA and said, look, if we go up through the playoffs, are we going to go up and stay up? Yes, they guaranteed him that initially. So to go all the way through the playoffs and to play as well as we did at Wembley, the great team we had, 1-0 on the day, but it could have been 3 or 4.
It was the biggest 1-0 victory I've ever made in my life. We were up so far.
Totally dominated Sunderland from start to finish. But anyway, we won. We celebrated.
Yeah.
Came back, had a big do at the De Vere, so you think you're up.
Of course.
And then to go on holiday, and I remember ringing back home and being told, as you said, 2 divisions demoted. I mean, it's horrendous. I mean, it knocked the club for a long time, didn't it?
I was in Bitblops. I know exactly where I was. I was in Bitblops having a meal. in Old Town.
Having one of your favourite
That'd be
curries.
frightening, isn't it?
Having an unbelievable
Certain
curry.
things in life you remember, don't you? I mean, I can't remember what I did last week, let alone 30 years ago. But I knew when that was 33 years ago.
Yeah.
I was saying Biblops.
Incredible, isn't it?
'Cause it was literally the best thing to happen for the club since the '69
Yeah.
League Cup win.
I mean,
For you guys, it must have been horrific for you guys.
it was pre-Premier, obviously. So, but it still was the
But
top league.
it was only 12 months before the Premier League started.
Yeah,
So, realistically, the club could have been a founder member of the Premier League.
yeah.
Because all we had to do was, when we got promoted, stay up one season and we'd have been there.
I mean, what we've said time and time again, that's the only one regret in football that I've got, is that team never got the opportunity to play in the top division.
Because incredible team.
Because we'd had a great team, and the years previous, Lou had obviously recruited most of the boys.
Yeah.
Ozzy had then come in and tweaked that and gave the players the confidence to play. I remember we had that function the other week, year ago now, isn't it? When he was saying about John Gittins, he said he couldn't play, but he gave him the confidence to play.
Yeah.
And he did, and we had that and the result that we had against, because we do play in the semis, Blackburn.
Blackburn,
Yeah.
Blackburn. We played Blackburn in the semis and then beat Sunderland at Wembley.
No, I mean, listen, they still are great memories in terms of the whole season.
Yeah.
I mean, Ozzy coming in, a World Cup winner, and we were lucky, fantastic person, a real man manager.
Yeah.
Who looked after the players.
Well, massively. Yeah.
Incredible. And the training, for me, Lou brought me here, which was fantastic, and I was delighted. But it was tough training regime. A lot of running. But Ozzy came in, and it was all football. Absolutely total football. Play was his favourite words, weren't they? Yeah. And we literally did. 4-4-2, although it was a diamond shape. Alan, rest his soul, played off the front two.
Got a lovely picture of Alan behind us as well.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, no,
17 goals from midfield, playing behind the front two.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It was.
Unbelievable. So the system was brilliant to suit us. Ross McLaren sat in front of the two centre halves, full-backs pushed on, played like wing-backs really. And it was a great team, which, like you said, was put together really by Lou. And
almost,
one or two
almost
additions.
ahead of its time in this country.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that was down to Ozzy, wasn't it?
It kind of, infuriates me a bit when I watch a lot of telly and it's all this new age stuff and how football's changed and that. We were doing it in the 90s.
Yeah.
We played the diamond, one off the front two, full-backs who bombed on, they played high and wide, getting lots of crosses in. And then the next level was Glen, where we played 3-5-2, and it was a proper 3-5-2, not 5-3-2. Yeah. And our sweeper, Glen, he would step into midfield. I mean, he got the first goal at Wembley. What was he doing up there?
Exactly.
Playing off the front man.
Yeah.
So that's how inventive we were and creative back in the 90s.
I agree.
So, we were ahead of the time. We were ahead of the time then because you had both managers, Glenn and Ozzy, were wealthy people, very experienced, fantastic footballers in their own rights. Yeah. But they wanted you to go and express yourselves.
Yeah. No, they did.
And they had a real understanding of what you were good at, get the best out of you as a player, but understand what we had in the group of players as well. Because there wasn't a lot of transfers in them days, was there?
No.
I mean, I think in the 1990, while we're on that, I think we played the same team for something like 26 games.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Without any changes.
Yeah.
You'd never get it now.
No.
Players, you might get 3 games.
Players are not used to it. They're not robust enough because they don't do it enough. The demands are not on the players as much as they were on us. We had a squad of, 16, 17, 18? Younger players, Sean Close, Adi Vivash, Fitzroy. They were on the bench, coming through. You had one on the bench maybe in the initial and then maybe 2 or 3. But small squad, great team spirit and playing with a smile on our faces. What more recipe do you want?
Oh, exactly.
A lot of the players from these teams have all gone on to have quite good coaching careers as well, to be fair, haven't they?
Yeah.
Which says a lot from those teams.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned Lingy and he's obviously director of football at Leyton Orient, but he's been a manager, youth team, first team, now he's director. Collins, I think, sporting director or assistant manager at
Northampton. You've got Adi Vivash at Coventry.
Adi Vive at Coventry, well respected in the game.
Yeah, Chelsea really did well Chelsea, didn't he, before he moved it to there.
Fantastic with the 23s. So it's a shame for me that Glenn didn't, after his sort of escapade and what happened with him, I thought he might have come back in. Obviously he enjoys the media side, but to lose him off the training pitch I think is a big loss to football, in my opinion.
So fast forward to the next promotion, 92-93, another unbelievable year. Obviously, we had the promotion at Wembley, beating Leicester 4-3. I think that year you scored, was it 12 goals in that season from fullback yourself?
It's incredible.
Well, like I mentioned just now, touched on it. You know, when we played for Diamond 2, we had roles to play high up the pitch and try and score. So even then, I think I scored a few. But certainly when we were wing backs with 3 centre halves, although Glenn was not there too often.
No.
So yeah, you were asked and encouraged to get forward as much as you could. Yeah. I think I scored four goals in 1-0 victories in a little run towards the end of the season, and that really helped us to clinch a playoff position. Obviously, I take penalties as well. So obviously, I think there was 5, maybe 4 or 5 penalties as well. But it was a pleasure to play in. I mean, Glenn playing a sweeper role, he'd get on the ball, Fraser roll it to him, just carry on. And if he made a run, we were like wide receivers, myself and Buzzer, Summerby. I mean, if you made a run, Glenn would he'd put it on a plate for you. Left foot, right foot.
Oh, it's incredible.
Incredible. If nobody pressed him, he'd step in and join in midfield. Ross would drop back in at times if he needed to, if Glenn went on a mazy run. But it was fantastic to play in. It really was. And when I started my coaching badges, they used to show clips of Swindon, how to play out from the back. Up at St George's and Lillishall in the early days. And they used to show clips, and I went up on the stage and I said, this is how we do, this is how we play out. 2 centre halves split outside the width of the box. Glenn just drops into the D. And if he gets pressed, it goes out to one of the centre halves. I mean, Sean improved dramatically, didn't he? With his lovely left foot. We had nice balance. And then Colin on the other side went on to play for Scotland. And
it did help with having the back pass. We could pick the ball up and roll it.
And fizz it out. I mean, that was almost a tackle.
That was my downfall when it comes to come pick it up. Shag.
Whoops.
Hey, Rosette.
But listen, it was a great learning curve for all of us. But it was a pleasure to come in on a daily basis.
No, it was, mate. Yeah.
From a keeper's point of view, it must have, because obviously you see the whole game.
Yeah.
To see the movement and to see how fluid it is, and people rotating positions, and Glenn dropping and picking it up and driving into midfield.
The thing is, as soon as you got the ball, you knew where you were going with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if Digby had made the run, you could throw it long to him, but you'd always knew that Glenn would be here to drop off. Then you got some buzzer either go on the run or he'd drop off. Yeah. You know, and it was just it was a joy to see. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously, I wasn't even born then. I wasn't even a fool.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Making us feel old.
We don't feel too old now, do we?
I've obviously watched loads of clips and watched games back on YouTube and all different sorts of stuff. But are there any highlights from that year from both of you that really stick out? Or was there a moment where you thought, yeah, we're going to go up here? Because I know the highest position that year, we were 3rd. Did we end up finishing 5th, was it?
Yeah, I think so. But we were in March, especially towards the end of March. We were like 3rd and pushing 2nd for
when did you?
For quite a time.
Well, I went away for a couple of months, didn't I?
Someone went on loan.
Glenn said I could go on holiday to Man United for a couple of months, which was great. It was great for me because I come back, you know, working with those sort of players was come back even better. So I came back even stronger and I had a point to prove as well.
You got a story about Eric Cantona, or was it? Or was that just before that?
Eric, I was his first room partner.
Yeah. Go on.
We were away
because you told me the story.
We were at Arsenal, and I got a knock on the door, and Brian Kidd come in. He said, "Oh, Fraser, can you just look after Eric for me?" I went, "Yeah, can you look after me?"
Wow.
So
that's a legend.
So and he was amazing because we obviously don't want to say too much about it, but I used to stay behind after every training session, and he used to work with us. He said, "Fraser, you stay. We play," and he brought on the likes of Giggsy and Sharpie and those sort of boys stayed and worked with him. But he was an inspiration. He was an incredible talent.
Can imagine. Favourite player when I was a kid. Obviously away from Swindon.
Yeah.
Swindon are the team, but like.
Of course.
It was a very shrewd move run it by Ferguson, really, to get him there.
Yeah.
He didn't make too many mistakes, did he, Fergie and Sir Fergie, Sir Alex? But yeah, I mean, that was the class of 92-3, wasn't it? Scholes, Giggs, Beckham, Butt.
All coming through.
The Neville brothers,
yeah.
Sharpie.
Yeah.
I mean, what a young group of players. They were fantastic, weren't they?
Yeah. But
obviously, the next year you were playing the likes of Man United.
Yeah.
Well, that was, like we said earlier, about the huge disappointment of not being able to have that opportunity to play against them. This time, when we get the win at Wembley, 3-0 up, back to 3-3, and then we end up winning.
You score the winning penalty.
I figured out the other day as well why, when Sky show all their highlights of playoffs, they don't show us. It's because Sky Sports didn't have the Football League at the time. It was all on ITV.
Yes.
So they don't have the footage because it was all ITV stuff.
St and Greavesy, they were the presenters.
Yeah.
And they said it was one of the best games they've ever seen
It's
at Wembley.
incredible,
yeah.
But unfortunately, like you said, it doesn't get reshown every year
Yeah.
pre-playoffs.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, for the neutral, a team to be 3
What a
up,
game.
dominate a game, play as well as we
Yeah.
did, and then for the opposition to come back and score 3 goals, I mean, you'd have thought they had the impetus to go on and win it. But actually, I mean, I watched the game, I haven't seen it for quite a few years, but having watched it back, way back, I mean, we just got ourselves back into the game, regrouped, and we could have scored a couple more.
And it's definitely a penalty, by the way.
I know, the debate on that really,
It's
I mean,
definitely
it's
a
a great ball, as we mentioned. Glenn put some fantastic balls. Chalky's running from an angle, he nudges it past the keeper. I suppose if you're a keeper and you feel that you didn't really give enough contact, but once you commit yourself to the ball and the angle's changed, for me it always was a penalty. I mean,
No, exactly.
no debate. But
What was going through your head when you stepped up for the penalty?
well,
You'd scored quite
I'd scored
a few that year
4 or
anyway.
5 that season.
Yeah.
I was quite confident. Did miss 1 or 2, maybe 1 that season. But no, there was a bit of debate, bit of deliberation. So I was kind of holding on to the ball for a while. But you just, at the time, you just think, I want to score. It's a goal. It's an opportunity to score a goal. I've done it quite consistently. And thankfully, it was a good strike. The keeper sort of drops to his knee one way and it's gone the other way.
Kevin Paul in goal.
Yeah.
Kevin Paul.
Yeah.
And then it's the joy from that, seeing the crowd. I mean, we were all red and blue down the other end.
Yeah.
And it's only afterwards you realise that the enormity of it. Because we were doing so well in the game, they had their little spell where they scored 3. But beyond that, we for
dominated.
70 minutes,
Yeah.
we were by far the best team. And, I tried to think what the implications were if I would have missed that one.
Yeah.
But having missed the Welsh one later was a huge disappointment. But certainly that one, being at this club over a period of years and playing as we did, we thoroughly deserved to win
definitely.
promotion that
Especially
year.
after the couple of years before as well.
Yeah. So then it was a case of looking forward to the fixtures coming out as they've come out today, all the Premier League and all the league fixtures. Exciting times, and you look for all the big clubs, but it was just fantastic.
What was it like after the game then? So obviously lift the trophy. What was the celebrations like? Do you remember?
We weren't,
Open as
it wasn't quite as bad as Grealish over the last few days.
But he did do the treble. He did do
the treble, yeah, as was, yeah.
I think, I'm sure you probably say the same phrase, but one of the biggest things for me was obviously straight after the game, you do the celebration, you see your families, and then when you get on the bus, and we were coming back to Swindon, and all the bridges were draped red and white, near enough from probably Newbury or even beyond that.
Yeah.
All the way
So
into
it was
Swindon.
just red and white
Yeah.
everywhere, and then as you come off the junction 15 M4, all the way towards the ground, it was thousands of people. It was a beautiful day.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I think the lads are up on the roof and the roof buckled.
Yeah, I
and-
think so. That was Ross.
it was, just Ross on his own. But it was incredible. We ended up then going to the De Vere, and we had a celebration evening there.
Yeah.
Sean Hodges sort of compared it. Yeah. But I had to be up early the next day to join the Welsh squad.
Right.
So I'm not sure what Fraser got up to and what time he went to bed.
I can't tell you, mate. I couldn't tell.
Certainly for me, I was probably gone at 12:30, 1 back home, and then I was on a plane the next day and we went and played the Faroe Islands.
Incredible.
So I didn't
play,
celebrate an awful
Yeah.
lot.
Didn't have much time
But
to let it
it was obviously brilliant and then going away. And the Welsh boys were a pleasure to go away with. Similarly with Swindon, great lads, fantastic ability.
It's a great group as well for Wales at the
Great
time.
group, yeah. Rushy, Mark Hughes, Dean Saunders, Giggsy.
Yeah.
Just to name a few. Nev
Seville
was
in goal,
incredible
Seville
in
in
goal.
goal, yeah.
Probably one of the world's best.
Never's one of the best ever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So no, but yeah, and then like I said, after that it was a bit of a holiday, and then looking forward to the fixtures coming out and sort of mapping out when we'll be playing them. It was a bit of a disappointment early season though, because we went to Finland and I tweaked my calf and it took me a bit longer to get back fit
Right.
than I thought. So I missed the first few games. So, but yeah, so to sit in the stand and watch the players, and obviously it took a while for us to get our first win.
Yeah.
But once we did, I thought we might be able to kick on then. But we couldn't quite. We weren't clinical as most teams were against us.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually played really well.
I agree.
In the
Like,
majority
played
of the
some great
games.
football.
The game that comes to mind for me is Liverpool away.
Yeah.
And when
Two-
I heard
2-1
Mark
up.
Wright talking about it at the centre back, and he was like, Swindon were one of the best teams we played,
Yeah.
football wise.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't beat us.
Yeah.
You know, and you
Yeah.
watch the highlights back, and it's all us.
Yeah.
And then they score 2 goals. And
Yeah.
well,
I mean, we went to Arsenal 1-1, Tottenham 1-1,
Yeah.
Coventry 2-2,
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday.
2-0. That was
3-0.
2-0.
2-0.
That's when I broke. That's when I dislocated my shoulder.
That's right, you were down, weren't you? And
I was down for about half a minute,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they,
and
the
they scored.
referee played on.
Yeah, that was when
And they
Maskey went through and
scored.
scored. So away form was quite good, but then we did let ourselves down a little bit at some games, you know, where we didn't throw the towel in by any stretch, but certainly once we got opened up and we tried to continue to play the attractive football
Newcastle
ourselves.
won the 7-1.
7-1, I mean,
and Liverpool was
they were tough,
5 now,
but I mean,
5-1 at home.
5-1.
yeah,
Liverpool.
yeah. Arsenal on New Year's Day, was it?
Yeah,
When Wrighty's
Wrighty
bloody
and Campbell
from the
scoring goals
halfway
out
line.
there.
He keeps reminding me of that every time I see him. He keeps reminding me about that.
But yeah, it was tough though. I mean, when you think, like, you know, we mentioned Jan earlier. Jan came in to sort of replace Dave Mitchell, who we lost the spine of the team, remember?
Yeah,
you know,
of
Glenn
course.
went, Colin went, Dave Mitch went.
Yeah.
Key players and a key manager. So we recruited. Adrian Whitbread came in as a centre half, young lad from Orient.
Yeah.
Luke Niall came from Scotland, centre mid, try and shore up. And of course, Jan, who we put a lot of faith in, spent a lot of money, club record fee at that time.
Was it 750,000 mil, I think?
Yes, up round that figure. But he couldn't score.
No.
And
Took
whatever he
ages to-
tried, you know, he had great technical ability,
yeah.
played for Norway, but just couldn't score.
But you see it now with players that come abroad to England to the Premier League. It takes some time to adapt.
Takes some
Sometimes
time.
they need a season.
Yeah.
And obviously you didn't.
And of course, with us in our situation, we were, you know, a smaller club, if you like,
Didn't have the
to go
time
up.
for
We
him
never
to-
quite had the backup really to get them results early.
You see it with teams now, don't you? When they come up like Watfords and Burnleys, they lose sort of 4 or 5-0 against Man Cities and
Absolutely.
Liverpool's.
Yeah.
So it's still the same now.
When
I mean-
he did get going, though,
Yeah.
Fieldsoft, he got a few.
Oh, he was
games,
tremendous.
14
Once he
games
got
in the
going,
end, I think.
I mean, there's a great story, isn't there? I mean, he was going back to Norway.
Yeah, I read this.
We played Ipswich away in the cup, and he hadn't scored a goal. I don't know if it was January or December. I think it might have been early January, and literally his numbers up. He's coming off,
Yeah,
and he's going back on the Wednesday back home
yeah.
to play part-time football. Just get some confidence on loan, and all of a sudden, ball comes into the edge of the box. He bends top corner, and number comes down. Leave him on,
Doesn't tell them.
and from that point on,
Yeah, never looked
he
back.
just never looked back. Phenomenal.
And then went on to Middlesbrough and
Yeah,
did
Absolutely.
unbelievable there.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
You know,
and he's a media man now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Doing
incredible
a
now,
fantastic job in his home country. So, yeah, some players need a bit of time to settle. You got, you know, we didn't have too many foreigners coming, although Luke came in from he was a Dutch boy, wasn't he? Came
Yeah,
from Scotland,
came from
so
Motherwell.
he was used to the mentality. He settled in really
Yeah,
quick,
he
didn't
did,
he?
to be fair.
But I mean, we had people like Nesta Lorenzo a few years back, but then he had Ozzy with him, who was an Argentine,
Yeah.
that was the Argentinian. So he settled reasonably quickly. But the football's different, you know. When you play abroad, it's perhaps slower tempo. As soon as you come into our country, it's
aggressive.
It's aggressive,
Yeah.
and there's no prisoners, and they're so clinical. Like we said, we dominated games in the Prem, and all of a sudden we're a goal down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just
then
takes
your
one
mindset.
chance.
Problem
One
is you
chance,
make
one chance.
mistakes and you punish for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
you know. And
Exactly.
Bit
and we were
naivety.
I think that's the word. We were a bit naive, and John as the manager, you know, it was his first foray into management,
Yeah, of
and
course.
do you know what I mean? It wasn't fair on him either, really. But
No, it was tough. It was tough, but a great learning curve for the club, and a fantastic stepping stone into the top level of football.
We did have some successes that year, though. We did the double over QPR,
yeah,
Yeah,
beat them home and away. We beat Spurs
yeah,
here, I believe.
yeah, it was it.
yeah.
So there was,
We drew at that
Yeah,
place.
I think there was a little period in, I think it's January maybe, where we won 2 or 3 on the bounce, and it looked like we were going to pick up.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it didn't quite
Didn't
happen.
come,
But
yeah.
Yeah. It's relentless, though, isn't it? Like we
Yeah,
mentioned
it's
there, when you watch it now, even. I mean, Luton have gone up by the playoffs, and as much as you'd love to see Luton flourish next year, you know, I do fear the worst for them because they haven't got the squad, they haven't got the depth. Will they be able to go and spend 20, 30 million on players? Probably not. And would it be wise to do that anyway? But the fact they've reached the top level, remembering only a few years ago, they were in the National League. So for their steps forward have been fantastic. They're well run, well managed. And they deserve the success, but whether they can sustain the Premier League status remains to be seen.
And when we've spoken briefly about managers that you guys have had. It's interesting, every time we speak to a player about a manager, when they talk about their best managers, it's the personality side of it that stands them apart. So you can be as technical and as tactical as you like, but when you're a really good man manager, that stays with players.
Absolutely.
And the teams are more successful, it seems, from what we've seen. Is that the case?
But then look at Lou. What he achieved for this football club.
Yeah.
He was the
He started.
springboard.
He was
started.
the catalyst,
Yeah, he was definitely.
But did he take us probably as far as he could, do you think?
Maybe. But I think that team, we had the fitness was unbelievable. You know, as goalkeepers, me and Nick Hammond were probably two of the fittest goalkeepers that were around. Unbelievable. But he did it where we were winning games on the last 10, 15 minutes, and
power,
and it was power and it was strength, and we used to do that. But I think when Ozzy came in, we still had that fitness, we still had that strength, and then he tweaked it. And I think that was the difference. You know, Ozzy brought in and wanted us to play, so we used the fitness, we used the strength, but he used it and tactically changed it. And he was a lovely fella as well. You know, Lou was he always used to put his arm around you, and he always used to look after you in his way. He was very different to Ozzy. Ozzy was very open and thing. Lou was a different character. But you know, you look at what he did for this club.
They all had their strengths, didn't they? I mean, like I said, Ozzy picked up the pieces from Lou. Lou was brilliant, from no doubt in my mind. As a recruiter, he brought the best players to this football club,
massive,
and made millions for the club. I thought he was a bit harsh. I didn't think he trusted the players at times.
But I think that was Lou as a person. He wasn't a very trusting person.
He'd bring you up on a Friday night just to check you were in and ask you, what do you think about training today?
No, he phoned me up once. I'd only gone down the chip shop to get the chips in.
You were out.
And my missus went, she thought it was Colin. She went, oh, Colin, he's just got down the chippy to get some fish and chips in, like. And so Lou, so that next day,
lost his head.
I just got the grief for it. And then on the Sunday I was in running because I'd had chips on the Friday. You know what I mean?
We had a running day on a Monday once, and maybe Lou.
Cool.
We came in and we didn't know. We ran from here. We always used to run from the county ground. Always got changed here, and then we'd go up the Polo Grounds or Shrivenham Road, Barbary Castle. Although we get a minibus to Barbary Castle and then run up the hill. So one day we ran up the Polo Grounds, which is what, a mile and a half, 2 miles. Yeah. So then we do a warm-up with Andy, and then when we came back, we were doing these horseshoe runs from one corner right round to the other far side.
And then all the way
it was like 45 seconds, and then jog, and then 3/4. And we were like, why are we doing this? And he said, ask Fitzroy. He was out with his family in Melksham on Saturday night. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, yeah. So, but that was Lou.
He knew everything that went on in his town.
He knew everything that went on.
He knew everything that went on.
But he was a fantastic success.
Oh, massive.
Absolutely fantastic success. And you know, you can't get away from that. Oops, my phone's going. Sorry, lads. But yeah, and everybody's got the different strengths. You know, Ozzy believed in the players. He would tell you. You know, he used to tell me I was the best left back in the football in the league. Yeah. On a regular basis.
Yeah, he was.
But to believe that. You do, if your manager's saying it.
The confidence around the team was phenomenal, wasn't it? It was. Do you know what I mean?
Possibly over trusted the players.
Yeah.
And got perhaps too close to one or two.
But I think that was negative to him when we then got relegated. I think that was fine up that year when we got promoted, but then the problem started when we were then relegated back. And we the first pre-season, I remember we went to Dublin, didn't we?
Yeah.
and then you could see the cracks appearing.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd left then. No?
Had you
I'd
gone?
gone to
Yeah,
Palace.
so mate, the cracks started appearing then.
Yeah.
And one or two players got too close. Were you knew
close,
anyway?
yeah.
You get too close to him, and he didn't want to be. He didn't want to come over and come hard on the players because of what we just suffered.
Yeah, of course.
But
Really
I think
difficult situation.
it was a real
I think we had
difficult.
the Kevin Morris scenario as well, didn't we?
No, that was we'd gone down. So that was after the
When I came
Premiership.
back. Yeah, when I came
So
back. Yeah.
so that was Gory had that. So that was
That was a
someone-
traumatic time.
Oh,
as
that
well,
was
wasn't it?
awful,
Wow,
mate.
That was horrendous. Our physio, Kevin Morris, who was a wonderful character, a wonderful person.
Yeah.
I mean, for him to commit suicide was devastating for everybody.
I watched a documentary of the promotion year, and he seemed
Life and soul. I mean, Kev, again, he knew everybody and everything about Swindon, didn't he?
Yeah.
Regimental man, great
Yeah.
physio. You could hear him coming down the corridor.
When he remembered
the Blakey's in his shoes.
When he remembered to turn the machines on, though, mate, that was really fun.
Yeah, he'd be treating
sometimes
to you when
the
they talk.
ultrasound did get turned on.
Kev, are you sure it's on? Don't worry about that. And he'd just be rubbing the ultrasound on you. But brilliant. He'd talk you back to fitness rather than treat you back to fitness.
Yeah. Oh, he was one. He was.
But no,
yeah.
great, wonderful days, mate. We had
Yeah.
we were lucky, weren't we? We were here
Yeah.
at a real fantastic time in the club's history, and hopefully one day, they'll get back to the top level. If not the champ, it's a club that should be in the champ, really.
Yeah, I mean, historically, yeah, over the last 10 years.
But you've got to earn that right.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I spent 12 years I was here. I spent 9 of those in the Championship.
Exactly the point.
Do you know what I mean? And that we did.
The last 10, 15 years, it's just not been
No.
there. It's not been managed
been up and
right,
down.
It's been
Yeah.
up and down.
Yeah.
We haven't kept players for any amount of time. Obviously, the game's changed.
Yeah.
So that is kind of the nature of the beast now. But
One of the biggest positive moves, though, this season has been the ownership of the ground.
Yeah.
So for me,
it's
that was
massive.
something that I don't know why when we were back playing that the owners then perhaps never had the real money to buy it, although it's been bought at a pretty reasonable figure, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
But back then, I mean, why didn't we buy? When we got to the Premier, we had the wealthy Andrew Fittons, Jeremy Rays.
Yeah.
These guys were really wealthy people.
Yeah, exactly.
Why didn't they buy the training ground? Why didn't they look to buy this ground then? And we could have been. Look how far down the line we could have been now.
Yeah.
You've only got to look at the other clubs like your Brentfords and your Brightons, and your Bournemouth even.
Yeah,
That have
fantastic.
gone from where we are
Fantastic.
now to the top league and are sustainable in the top league.
Yeah, no,
But
absolutely.
it's been a massive step this year, and hopefully,
Yeah.
now that we own it, we can do a lot more.
I think Gleb's got some good ideas, and
And
really,
create
I mean,
more revenue
he's
and
done,
really
he's
take
done
the
brilliant,
club forward.
getting the debts down to where he's, to the level he's got, and the work he's doing behind the scenes as well.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant, and fair play to him to come in. He's an Australian, obviously, to come in and interact with all the local people. Going into the
Yeah.
pubs and speaking
Yeah.
to people and pulling
Yeah.
pints and all that.
Even things
everybody
like
loves
this.
that. Yeah,
This come from a conversation that we had with him.
right.
He
Yeah.
wanted us to, see what we could do in terms of raising club profile and stuff like that because we had done some other social media stuff.
Yeah.
And then we said, well, why don't we do a podcast? And he was like, go for it.
Go, yeah.
See what happens.
But that's it. He's very behind a lot of those sort of things.
Yeah.
So he's very open to listening to people's ideas.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Scoring a goal at Old Trafford.
Yes.
That must have been in a league game for Swindon Town.
Tinged with losing.
45,000. Yeah, of course.
Tinged with
Of
losing.
course.
But I think it was 4-2, wasn't it?
And the kit that
But
day, the yellow with the sky blue
against Schmeichel,
shorts.
I mean, that's
against
always nice.
Schmeichel.
Yeah.
To score against David Seaman in a 1-1 draw
Yeah.
at Arsenal, Highbury.
Yeah.
And then at White Hart Lane to score in the 1-1 draw there as well against Thorsveld.
Yeah,
Was it Thorsveld?
Torsved.
Thorsveld.
Yeah.
Great memories,
Yeah.
fantastic memories, and you can't, they're never going to be erased in your memory.
No.
And we can always look back in fondness, and it's amazing. It's 30 years just
Mad,
gone.
isn't it?
I mean,
Yeah, I
it's-
know.
Mad. Well, that's
It's
why
incredible.
we're here.
Where's your time gone?
Yeah. We wouldn't be here otherwise.
Them old gits, what they did it?
It's 30 years, we need to do something, don't we? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we did in fairness, we did a 25-year anniversary for both the 1990 and the 93 a few years back, 4 or 5 years
of
ago.
course.
And we had the majority of the players on both
Yeah.
things
That's
in the
brilliant.
Winners' Lounge.
Yeah,
Really
it was-
good.
oh, good
Great to
night.
see
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
And maybe, you know, I know Phil King is. I've got to meet him actually in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to try and do something maybe in September, October, November time.
Yeah.
And maybe if we can get all the boys back. I mean, there's a few locals still,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So try and pick the right night, and hopefully we can celebrate it, you know, with a nice evening and get some supporters in to celebrate it with us.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Got
if
to be
that
done that,
happens.
really.
I think we always do a quiz, and I think we will need to do it slightly differently this week. So normally it'd be me against the guest,
Right.
and Jonah would be quizmaster, and then the following week it would be me as the quizmaster and Jonah against the guest. I think what we'll do is we'll do these two against each other.
Yeah.
Oof.
So
We could be struggling there, mate, can't we? Eh?
well, the way we'll run is
very often we
I'll
do
ask a question, then Jonah will ask a question,
Right.
but I'll ask to Fraser, Jonah will ask to Paul,
Yeah.
and then
Keep them easy, mate.
Yeah.
it's multiple choice, so you've got 3 options.
So we're all right.
And if it's a draw at the end, we've got a bonus question, but we'll probably
Right.
just do it for a bit
Just
of fun
in
anyway.
case. It's on paper this week.
I think we have to do it as fun, mate, because I think I've got no chance. But hey,
I think you might, I don't know. I don't know.
I
So,
don't think
hey,
it's
mate,
too difficult.
No, I don't think it's too difficult. I think you'll get it. It's
Yeah.
across 92, 93
Okay.
and 93, 94. So
Right.
the 2 most memorable seasons
Cool.
and what we're here celebrating. So, question number 1. To Fraser. How many goals did Mr. Bodin score in the Premier League for Swindon Town?
I think we
Options.
actually, I think we just touched on that, didn't we? Did we touch on that earlier?
Yeah,
we spoke about the year before.
Oh no, I just said that.
You've been
Oh,
clever.
hang
Now we've
on.
got a plan.
Oh, you slipped me.
Yeah.
Eh?
You've been clever.
Go on then.
I was thinking you're going to give them an easy question.
Options.
Yeah.
A5,
Yeah.
B7 or C9?
5, 7, or 9.
Yeah.
7.
It is 7.
Correct. It was. Yeah.
1-0
I
to
knew that
Fraser
myself
Digby.
as well. Why didn't you ask me?
If you ask me how many penalties I say, whether I do that, none.
Right, so question number 2 then, to you, Paul. How many clean sheets did Fraser Digby keep in the Premier League for Swindon? Was it A4, B5 or C6?
Jonah, move your paper just in case I can see through it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even looking. I'm just trying to think. I know we conceded over 100 goals. I hope that's not another question coming up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 4.
Correct.
Oh.
Do you know what I
It's a bit
did?
harsh, mate.
I didn't even know that myself, to be fair.
Yeah. 'Cause obviously, I knew we did when we touched on it many times.
Yeah, yeah,
We could
yeah.
be dominating the game, and all of a sudden we're 1-0 down.
Yeah.
So
Go on, happy with that for
4
all that.
sheets in the Prem. That's all right.
Yeah, that's not too bad, is it?
And if I had figured out who they were against, I could have done a bonus.
I couldn't tell you, mate.
No, neither did we. I didn't look, to be
I
honest.
can't, yeah,
Question number 3
I'll have to look at that now. Go on.
to Mr. Bodin.
Yeah, go
Mr.
on.
Digby, sorry. Who did we play in the 3rd round of the FA Cup in 92-93, so the year before the Premier League? A. Luton, B. QPR, or C. Fulham?
Fulham.
Incorrect.
Yeah, I ain't got a clue, mate.
I'll pass it over for
Go on, for the bonus point. Zip, come on,
so
Sam.
Luton.
Luton, QPR.
Or
They're your
Fulham.
2 options.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't Fulham. So.
Yeah, so it's not Fulham. So you've only got 2, mate, so it's easy for you. I've teed it up for you.
The year before the Premier League.
Luton.
No, it's QPR. It's QPR.
We never had good cup runs, did we?
No, we didn't, mate, did
No,
we?
you didn't.
No, we did. We had that
Oh,
League
the
Cup
semi-final.
against
Still won, no,
Bolton.
Bolton.
Bolton, we played about
Yeah.
4. What did we play? 3
We had
replays,
a
didn't we?
look earlier and we
Yeah, there was.
And then the Simod, and then Luton, we got to the semi-final of the
That was
Simod
first
against
game.
Luton
That was
on the
brilliant.
plastic pitch.
Yeah, when someone blew the whistle, Quinny was in on goal, wasn't he?
Yeah.
To score.
Oh, yeah,
Someone
God,
in the
yeah.
crowd blew the whistle. Back to the keeper.
Because did MacArthur played up front for?
The Steen brothers, yeah. On
weird
the
sto-
Astro.
that's a weird story. We were in a hotel lift at Harrogate first day of the season in the hotel.
Door opened as MacArthur.
Yeah,
Big Mick, what a man.
Just walked
He's a
in.
good lad, mate.
Was that
just
the right
started
lads?
having a conversation.
What a
with
nice man.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah,
nice man.
yeah.
Gentle giant on the pitch.
He was Thingy's best mate, one of the old
Kingy.
Kingy's best mate.
Yeah.
I think he was there watching Harry McCurdy because Luton were
Yeah,
Oh, was
potentially
that right?
keen there.
I
Yeah.
don't think he had a very good game, though, did he?
No, he didn't.
But we didn't. So
No, we were all.
1-0,
Yeah.
1-0. Oh, it's my-
Still 1-0. No, you could take the lead, mate. Come on.
Yeah.
This is penalties, isn't it? Right?
Question number 4, Paul. Who did we play in the third round of the FA Cup in the Premier League season? Was it A, Oldham, B, Port Vale, or C, Ipswich?
In the Premier League.
Yeah.
Cool, I got no chance.
FA Cup.
Oh, was it Ipswich?
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Correct.
Because that was the game Jan scored.
It was.
I think.
Was it?
So luckily,
Yeah,
I had him a looker.
In the replay.
2-1.
Because it was 1-1 in the first game, and then we played them in a replay.
They beat us on aggregate.
Yeah, and they beat us 2-1 in the second leg with a goal in extra time.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, an extra time, sorry.
Oh, that's... No, yeah, sorry, go on.
Extra time.
So, yeah,
I forgot about that.
Time, so we were 1-1 at full time in the replay, and then they scored an extra time to win the game. Cool. Next question. Who made the most starts for Swindon in the Premier League? All right. A, Nicky Summerby. B, Adrian Whitbread. Or C, Martin Lane.
I'd go Lingy.
Incorrect.
There you go, mate.
Pass it over.
It's a toss. It's a real 50-50 this one because they both played a lot of games. Obviously, Adrian.
What, AD? Did he?
This
Yeah.
is league games as well.
Yeah, because he was one of the key defenders for a young player. But did he play?
Do you know what? I forgot.
Losing games.
And it's most starts as well.
Starts.
I'm going to go Summerby.
Correct. For a bonus point, and you two can shout your name first, fastest finger first job, how many starts did he make?
There's
Go on.
32.
Incorrect. I'll pass it over.
35.
36.
Oh!
Do I get the 1 year out t-shirt? 1 year out.
Sorry, mate.
Hey?
36.
It's alright, pal.
But there you go. What's the score, Matt? 3-1.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Are we running out of questions?
Ooh.
Am I done
Yeah,
yet?
we're getting
Yeah, we nearly there, mate.
I might
So
win this one. This could be the clincher.
question number 6, Paul. Who made the most starts in the 92-93 year? Was it A, yourself, B, David Mitchell, or C, Glenn Hoddle?
in the year that we ended up at Wembley getting.
Yeah, I done my
got-
done my medial and I was out for about 6 weeks. So it wasn't me. Mitch played a lot of games, but then he would be and these are starts, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Glenn.
Yeah, I would have said that, no.
Correct. And also,
Yeah.
again, for a
Yeah.
bonus
For a
point,
bonus point.
how many games? How many
You
starts?
can buzz in. So Fraser can steal it. Oh,
Go on. No, go on, mate.
40.
it's close.
Fraser.
We'll hand it over.
Well, we have to go 39 then.
44.
Is it 44?
A lot of games, isn't it?
And when
Cool.
he
It's
came
a
with
lot
an
of
injury,
starts.
so he missed a few seasons before with an
Yeah.
injury, so you have to tilt your hat to
Oh,
Play
just a bit.
44
Fit.
games in 1 year.
play that many
It's
games.
incredible.
Yeah.
Good game, wasn't it? I think you've won it. How many questions are there?
Oh, should we just do
Yeah,
the
we'll do-
bonus anyway for banter?
Yeah, we'll do the bonus one for. Might as well.
Yeah.
So you can buzz in on this one.
Go
In
on.
fact, no, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do closest.
Yeah.
Yes.
So have a guess each.
And we'll see who
Go on.
And we'll let Paul go first because he's winning.
Yeah,
And
go on.
then- Right. What was our average league attendance in the Premier League?
Ooh.
Because we could only hold. Well, I better not give it away because Fraser might not quite remember. But I know our attendance wasn't as high as a lot of people thought.
No, because I know how much I got from my testimonial as well.
Remember,
Did you go and count them? Count everybody.
Remember though,
Yeah.
Stratton Bank was still standing,
Yes.
Yeah.
and the Shrivenham Road end was still standing in the
Yeah.
back.
The
in the
average
bottom.
of
The
every
average,
home
yeah.
league game.
Yeah.
14-4.
No, that's more.
Ooh.
Okay. So is he going lower then?
Oh, I don't know. No, because the most crowd we ever had was about 15 something for one of the games. So what, you gone 14-4?
14-4.
Average. Average.
So there might have been a couple that were high, or there might
14-2.
have been a couple that were low.
14-2.
You've gone a bit below.
Yeah. Is it more?
The average was actually 15,274.
That was
I
as
didn't
much
think
as
it- I
that.
didn't think it
I
was
think
quite
the
as
one
much.
I-
highest was like
I-
7.
yeah.
The highest was like 17,000.
Yeah, and the lowest was.
Was it?
Yeah,
I think the
for-
lowest was like 11 something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
deal.
it fluctuated quite a lot
Yeah.
throughout the season.
I suppose
but-
away fans maybe.
Yes, would have
Yeah,
made the
yeah.
big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Bigger strap.
And when
Yeah.
Man United come here,
Yeah.
and everyone
Yeah.
from Swindon
Couldn't
comes to
get-
watch Cantona
So
Yeah, of course you do.
and Hughes, and there was
Stamp on monks.
Yeah.
that's something we haven't mentioned.
What?
When we played Man United here,
Yeah.
Cantona obviously gets sent off for stamping on Lingy.
Yeah.
Was it Lingy?
Monker.
That's right.
Yeah.
there's a picture of them now.
Yeah, and then
Sparky had a
Hughes, he has a
altercation with somebody in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were all hitting each other.
And then there was another fight. The players too.
We will mention that.
Yeah. we'll just pass over that
It
one.
was a fantastic performance, wasn't it? 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2.
Luke Niall scored
Yeah.
a long
Yeah.
range.
Fjordhoff
against
scored.
Michael. Fjordhoff.
So
We done well against United, really, didn't we? Even that 4-2 away, we got done on
Yeah.
one or two one-on-ones. I got done with blooming. I think we got Cantona, and then Kanchelskis was
I
frightening.
remember seeing the back of
Abs-
Kanchelskis too many times that day.
Yeah.
14 running away from you.
Oh,
He was a machine.
he was one. To be fair, he was to be fair.
And John Barnes was at Liverpool.
Yeah.
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 He scored one of the goals of the two.
Yeah.
He scored one, and Mark Wright scored the other.
Yeah. John
I'm still
Barnes.
wishing I'd gone with with one hand instead of trying to catch it. I still look at that now, thinking, yeah.
But unbelievable memories.
5-1 then. Quiz.
5-1 in the quiz.
That's all right.
I mean, to be
Am I into the
fair,
next round?
To be fair, mate, that dementia's kicked in a long time ago, mate. So,
before we started,
30 years-
Fraser was definitely saying we've got no chance.
30 years ago, mate. I can't remember. As I say, when you look back, I mean, people say like, "What did I pay 505 games?" I'd go in there and see 505 games I played for
Should
this
have asked a
club.
question on the bed block, shouldn't
Do you know what I mean?
you? Where you were.
What was the menu?
Yeah,
What was
what-
number 23?
Right, joking apart, right? I can tell you all the food I used to, like restaurants and things like. I can tell you where I've been eating. I can't tell you about most things, but I can tell you where I went. I tell you all the good gastro pubs to go and eat in round Swindon. Excellent at that.
Love that. It's been a pleasure. I hope you guys have enjoyed it.
No, it's been good, thank you.
Yeah,
Something
we
else.
Thanks for coming in.
The memories come back very, very slightly.